What is up, everybody? Welcome to Revv Time. Today we're going to talk about how the G2 stacks with other pedals, other boost and possible overdrive pedals. And I'm only going to go one direction, so it'll be overdrive pedals or boost pedals into the G2. So we'll use the G2 as our bass kind of rhythm slash solo tone. And then we'll go from there. Now, the idea for this video, I cannot take credit for. It would be Bill Johannesen. He had left a comment on a video I did earlier about, getting early Lukather tones. And I like the question that he had. He said, I would love to hear you play, or he said, I would love to hear your Blue Note and Majestic in front of the G2 or other stacks on the G2. And I thought, that's kind of a cool idea, because that question does come up a lot. Does the G2 play nicely with other pedals? And I can safely say yes. Now, when he mentions Blue Note and Majestic, those are pedals that are made by Rockett pedals, and I own both those pedals. I don't think I'm going to use the Majestic because for me it wouldn't be honest. It's not dishonest, but I wouldn't use the Majestic as a push box into something else. But what I do want to do is use the Blue Notes as basically, I'm going to use that as the slightly overdriven box driving this. But another pedal that I use a lot for what I would consider a push box is my Pettyjohn Mark II, Pettyjohn Chime Mark II. I like to use that pedal as a really transparent push into other pedals. It sounds really good for that. So let's just get right into it. I'm using my D20. I do have it dialed pretty clean. I'm running it the way I usually run it, which is direct out via the embedded 2 notes hardware and software with my 4x12 cabinet sim. So let's start off once again just the G2, and thank you, by the way, Bill, for the comments and the idea. So that's a good baseline crunch mode. I'm using the blue drive mode on the G2. So let's start with the Pettyjohn. Here's the Pettyjohn off. Back on. So really what the using the Pettyjohn is doing is it's adding push into the box, but not necessarily clipping. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Here's just the amp. It's pretty clean. Here's the Pettyjohn by itself. So it's really just overdriving the amp a little bit now. There's not a lot of clipping happening. I've got it dialed really clean, and I don't have it adding a ton of character. It is adding a little bit of top end and just some maybe harmonic complexity, but it's not like this massive tonal change. So here's the G2 again. So you hear some top end there, and I think that's also because we're pushing the front end of this box with some more level, so that sometimes just creates a top end on its own. And no, that is not my scientific opinion. That's just what I'm hearing. I don't know. Okay, so, Pettyjohn off. Back to just the G2. Now let's try the blue note. Now I've got the blue note dialed to add some clipping or some, I guess, overdrive. So now we're hearing a lot of, I shouldn't say a lot, but a lot more saturation. There's some more mids there. So yeah, now here, check it out. Just the blue note, or I should say just the amp again. And here's what the blue note is adding by itself. So I don't have it adding a ton of level, but I do have it adding gain this time. So you can hear a breakup. That breakup is actually from the blue note. And I've got it dialed so it is a little bit kind of thumpier. And then with the G2, it just adds this really ampy feel and character. Pettyjohn. Here's the blue note. So the G2 definitely plays nicely with other pedals in front of it. I have used this as a push box, the G2 itself, where I dial the gain way down and use it just to push amps. I've done demos of this, like the G2 pushing like the G3, and that sounds really cool. I've used the G2 pushing channels on the G20. So this works great as a push box as well, but I thought it would be cool to let this be the baseline overdrive that sounds great, and then hit it with boxes that I would be more apt to use. So thanks so much for watching. Thanks again, Bill, for the comment. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that thumbs up, subscribe, ring that bell, because that's what allows me to continue to do this. It's the best way you can help this channel. All right, I hope you're all doing great, and we'll see you next time.